Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Oh, it's got craziness going on here at the JP Peterson Show. Man, it's been berserk all day long. Timmy Ham is back in our Dallas studio right there producing the show and being the great guy that he got a lot of work to do. I gave him a lot of work today. We got lots to do, man. Thank you.
Two other shows to do before this one this morning too.
I know, man. You're just this Wednesdays are your good days, and I'm glad we know it's Wednesday and Big O still thinks it's Thursday. Yeah, that's good. We'll be doing a Big O show today, right after this show. So, and he'll be joining us at the end of the show as we break down Shohei Ohtani. I think I'm going to go on the poly market, and I'm going to bet that the Rays get no hit today. I think Shohei can no hit.
I wonder
what
those odds are.
I bet you get pretty good odds on that. I bet you get pretty damn good odds on that. This Rays team has tanked. It's actually time to hit the panic button. I think you can jump all over that panic button, no question. But we got so much to talk about here today. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just got back from today's final practice of mandatory minicamp, Tim. You would say, well, JP, I thought we had 3 days of minicamp because that's what the CBA allows. And obviously you're putting in a new offense, tweaking the defense. You got a lot of new players. You would want to use every moment of practice time on the grass that you could possibly get, right? Oh, no. No, this is the Buccaneers. It's Todd Bowles. We need some more time off. The 5 weeks that they're about to get is not enough. We need another day. So he has canceled tomorrow's final practice. I'm sure you're shocked.
Well, they already had a day of OTAs taken away from them.
That is correct, Tim. That is correct, but that's not enough.
So, hey, let's go ahead and cancel our other stuff, too. Why not?
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Makes sense.
Lord.
Why would we want to work these guys so hard? They got 5 weeks off. We need to make sure they get an early start. I kid. Is one more day of OTAs going to make a difference come, I don't know. I just know that it's so on brand. So if you think that the fact that some of the players came out after the season and complained that there were too many walkthroughs and they needed to practice more, and there were too many times during the season where guys didn't know what they were doing and coverages were busted and the defense completely turtled in the final half of the season, even after the bye week. If you think that was going to change Todd Bowles' idea of how hard this team has to work, you're sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken. This is going to be the whatever. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm sure I'm making way too much of it. Way too much of it. But
I don't know about that.
But the Rams blew off mandatory minicamp altogether, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did
all of it. There's another. I think Seattle did that too.
Yeah, so maybe that's the new trend. I just think that coaches complain all the time that they don't get enough time with their players, and and I think Bowles really looks down his nose at any practices that are, without pads. Everything you ask him about evaluating players, he just says it's not pads. There's really nothing you can see here.
Yeah,
and I think to some degree that's 100% true. It's tackle football. They play it with pads on Sunday, so he's 100% right with that. I think it's very difficult. That being said, I don't, especially with the team on defense that has notably been consistently making mental errors in the most critical of times, that every moment I could get them on the grass is I would think would be important. But, that's just me. What the hell do I know?
And especially with the new players and the new offense, and golly, I don't get that at all.
I don't either. But that's the way he wants to play it, and that's the way we're going to play it. So, and there you have it. So as of note, here's the setup for the show today. the Rays are playing here in just a little bit. So Shohei Ohtani, who hit the home run last night, the only run of the game, and a 1-0 loss to the LA Dodgers last night. For our Rays, will be pitching today, and that's going to be elite pitching, which is something they haven't seen the first 2 days and still couldn't score a whole lot of runs. So elite pitching today means no hit a watch for me. So we'll see what the Rays are able to do against Shohei. Maybe play a little small ball, get a lead. Not like the Dodgers are not going to cover up the ball. And just Big Red last night, Rasmussen was absolutely phenomenal. So we'll get into that a little bit. We got lots of Bucs news to get to. A lot of observations out there today. There was an injury situation. I don't think it's serious, but we'll tell you about that. We'll hear from Baker Mayfield. Again, we didn't get through all of his energy, the new energy, yesterday. So we got some really good stuff I want to get to today from him. Emeka Egbuka talked today. And he said some very interesting things about one Ted Hurst. And Ted Hurst had a couple of moments today. He was kind of the big story of the day for me. That's what I'm talking about. Vita Vea's contract and the whole situation with Baker Mayfield as well. I want to get into that. Vita was on the sidelines again today. Not on the sidelines. He just stands there and watches everybody work. But I think it's interesting what's going on with that as well. And I think it sets up. So we'll do lots of Bucs today. We'll get to the Rays. Anything else you guys want to bring to the table? If you want to talk about Messi's hat trick last night for Argentina. And evidently that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that Jameis Winston was there to celebrate it. That's all over my Twitter feed.
He was there covering it, man. He was in with the crowd.
I know. I love that.
Look, I know we're going to get into that later. And we talked about me watching soccer yesterday.
Yeah.
I found out something yesterday because I was at the bar watching that game. Argentina, I guess, is who everyone's cheering for because of that one dude, whatever his name is. But I found something out about the World Cup, JP, and I'm calling total fraud on all of it. It is all a fraud.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait to hear this completely unhinged.
Oh, I became unhinged when I heard this.
Okay.
It is all a lie. The whole World Cup is a lie.
Okay, let me jot this down. World Cup
let's not forget this.
Rigged.
No, not rigged. I didn't say
Just a
rigged.
lie.
I said it's a lie.
It's a lie. Yeah.
Might be rigged too.
Yeah. And there's the other story going around baseball, which I at this point I have to just kind of laugh about. The San Francisco Giants players putting Bible verses on their hats and getting rebuked by MLB.
Oh, MLB has put a stop to that, JP.
How many times have we said and enumerated the incredible great things that are happening in the game of baseball, right? I mean, it's never been better. It's never been more entertaining. And here comes the people that run MLB. Hey, let's see how we can fuck this up.
Let's celebrate Pride Month and force our players to wear stuff celebrating that, but they're not allowed to put a Bible verse.
I thought we figured this out. Let the teams do whatever they want to do. That's fine. But to make players wear certain things, hockey figured this out. A lot of other places figured this out. It's fine. If the teams want to do whatever, it's fine. It's fine. But you start forcing players to wear certain things, you're going to get into a mess of stuff you really don't need. And that's where we're at.
Well, yeah, and then you have players who refuse or don't subscribe to that whatever lifestyle or values or whatever, their choice, and they don't want to wear it. They get called out by the media for not conforming, and that's what's the problem. So look, Major League Baseball, just put it all on an even playing field, and if you want to promote that thing, that's fine. Give your players the option to wear that, and then the option to wear the other ones.
There should be no option because, to your point, when there's an option, if you opt out, you're a bigot. And that's not. I
feel like
you put them in a bad position. Yeah,
I know.
You put them in a bad position. So my feeling is what hockey's basically done is like we're going to do our what we think our organization should do, and that's fine.
Right.
But we're not going to force our players to wear a certain thing. We're not going to have them, force them to promote it. We'll just do our thing, and they go do their thing, and then everybody's happy, and it works out fine. And and I have no problem with teams doing whatever they want to do in that realm. They should probably be even-handed across the board with all of it. But what Major League Baseball did is not. It was a terrible.
It just opens the door for so much criticism.
It really does.
It's ridiculous.
And you just don't. And you got and I just want to play baseball. I want to enjoy the game.
Yes.
I don't want to get into all this shit. I just don't want to do it. There's no need for it. There's just no need for it. But here we are. And away we go. All right. So there's the show for you. We'll get into it right now with the Buccaneers. So, watching OTAs, obviously it's no pads, but you can get some things, right? You can get some things. I always tell you that. I like to watch how the players move, how they handle themselves, especially skill position players. And for me, Ted Hurst jumped off the page today. He is, if you don't know who Ted Hurst is, he's the 3rd round pick of the Buccaneers. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, runs a 4.45 40. He played for Georgia State, absolutely dominated at that level. Had plenty of chances to go play at Georgia and other places, but was loyal to the program, family things, wanted to stay there, etc. That's the quick part of his. Bottom line is this guy is big and he can run. Today we had our first mossing, our first public mossing, Timmy.
Oh, boy.
Where he took a deep ball from Jake Browning, very well thrown, by the way, down the sidelines. The defensive back, who I think was Josh Hayes, who also had a pick 6 today, kind of forced him out of bounds early, which I think would have been a defensive pass interference. But what you're paying attention to is he goes up high in a 50-50 ball and just absolutely dominates. Like it was like watching some of the greats do it. I don't want to mention names because then you go, oh, you think
Start
he's
comparing.
this guy? Yeah, I'm not. No, you know it when you see it. You know it when you see it. And he's got basketball background. He just went high, great elevation, and just snatched the ball. I mean, his torso was completely above the defensive back. Like, that defensive back had no shot. I think he even got one hand down. They said he was out, but it would have been DPI anyway. The bottom line is it's the body control. It's the catch radius. And you're going to hear Emeka talk about this a little bit later on in the show. The Bowles talked about it. Emeka raved about this kid. And he made a couple of catches. Yesterday, he made a catch in the back of the end zone. You know, the back where you throw it over the linebackers, right at the goal post. It's a high throw that only your big guy can go get. Mike Evans was great at this. Baker was great with Mike doing this. And it was perfect. And he went up and he just snatched it. Did that again today in the back of the end zone. Caught another deep ball in the corner of the end zone. That's another big body play when you're throwing it over the corner. It's kind of a zone defense. You got to beat the safety to the corner, and then the corner that's playing the flat has to kind of get back, and you loft the ball over that corner to the big receiver in the corner. That was Ted Hurst. He did that again today. This kid's got it. He's got it. And, now how it's going to transition within the game, that remains to be seen. But it's as much as you could possibly show in 2 days at minicamp, I think Ted Hurst did that. And I'm excited about watching that kid play.
I didn't realize he was that big, or I guess I'd forgotten he was that big.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's quite a weapon, especially right after you lose Mike Evans, right?
Right. And you see him. Another thing I talked about yesterday, they do these drills where they come and they stop and they go around the little cones, and it's basically just to show how quick their feet are, how they move, how they break in and out of things. And the smaller guys obviously have a much lower center of gravity, and they come out of the breaks a little bit quicker than the big guys do. But Mike was always really good at it. Like, you could just see him. He moved like the little guys. Well, Hurst does too. He can plant, and he can go laterally, and he can come out of it without lumbering. And that's a great sign, because that means you can be a great route runner. So he's got all the tools. Now, whether he refines it and can put it together in the game, that remains to be seen. But again, as far as what he could possibly show you in OTAs and minicamp, we saw it. And I'm excited about him. Another newcomer, Kenneth Gainwell, who's wearing Rashad White's number out there, number 1.
Oh,
he really
are you
caught my eye.
serious? God, I hate
Yeah.
that number. I hate that number.
Oh, I love that number. It's
Can't
so
stand
clean,
it.
especially as
I
you're wearing
hate-
the white.
I hate the number 1 in any sport on any 1 and 0. I can't stand, but go ahead, whatever. I hate Kenneth Gainwell.
Could not disagree more. But Gainwell runs a little corner route himself and goes up high. Baker throws it up high, which is where you away from the defender. But he high points the ball and comes down. But he's not a big guy, but he's really good at catching the football. So that was a great one. He caught a little out route for a touchdown in red zone 7-on-7. And then the one I like the best, which probably there's two actually. This is also the deficiency of coverage for the Buccaneers against running backs, as we saw so much last year. And they were running red zone. They threw a flat pass. And this was 11-on-11, I think. And, that guy, the defensive back was almost kind of even with him. Wasn't he? As he's going to the pylon, wasn't even a contest. He caught that ball and burst to the pylon. It was no contest. And that's just, you love to see that. He's just fast and he's quick and he accelerates in small spaces. And I think Gainwell is going to be a tremendous weapon. Now, also another great throw from Baker. They ran a little wheel route on Servassier and old Servassier, we call him Voss. I think in coverage, we should just call him Lost. Just Lost. Sir Lostier.
Sir Lostier,
Dennis. Sir Lostier in coverage, Dennis. And he just, it's no contest now on the wheel route. Gainwell probably separated by 6-7 yards. Perfect spiral from Baker on a deep ball. Gainwell, and he's, we see some running plays too, but you can't tell shit, in running plays out there. But we've seen him run the football on Sundays, and he can do that too, much better than Rachaad White. So I think Gainwell and Hurst are huge playmaking additions to this offense, big time. So I love that. And Tez Johnson, obviously, what do you have? 7 touchdowns last year in his rookie year, 6 or 7?
7, I think.
Yeah. Tez is just making plays all over the place. All over the place. Now, he did run a hitch and fall down, and the ball hit Josh Hayes right in the right basket, and he ran it in for 6, and they celebrated like they did something. So that was one bad play by Tez, but he made so many other plays. Caught a deep ball in traffic, got a couple in the back of the end zone. It's a really, really good performance. So this is a kid that, he's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit stronger in his upper body, which he needed to do, which you see also in Jalen McMillan as well. He's just making plays. And so I think Tez is a guy that goes from a 7th-round pick that helped you last year. You want to see how he develops, and he's developing into what I think is going to be a very dependable receiver. And Godwin just is Godwin. He takes every time they go 11-on-11, he catches like the first 3 balls. And they're not deep balls, but he separates by 1.5 yards on an out route, then comes back and separates by 1.5 yards on a little hitch route.
Right.
He's just such a great runner. He knows how to get open. He has great chemistry with Baker. They're going to be a high volume pairing. I mean, like I said, fantasy football, he's going to average, if he stays healthy, I think average 6 to 9 catches a game, probably 10 to 12 targets a game. And I think he's going to return to that yards after the catch guy that was really, really good early on in his career. So I just think in terms of playmakers, and again, it's underwear football. Those guys showed out today and showed out in the 2 mini camp days that we saw. There was one incident today, and insert Chris Braswell joke here. They were doing something where they run the 2, like they run the ring, run the hump, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And they're coming from opposite sides, 2 linebackers doing the same drill. They kind of meet in the middle, and they're spaced out by about 8 to 10 yards, these things. Well, they both came around at the same time, and I think Kamara slipped the first time, so they made him do it again. They did it again. This time, Braswell slipped into Kamara, and they collided.
The field's wet?
I don't know.
A lot of slippage, it sounds like.
Yeah, they both. But they're trying to they're trying to cut it off, so you're really pushing the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're trying to get as low as you can and really explode through the middle there. So Kamara got a hit on the knee. Bowles didn't think it was serious, but he did limp off the field. I think we even have video of that.
Yeah.
Of him limping off the field.
He posted it online. Yeah.
For whatever. It's just a guy limping off the field. But so that was the one incident. Some of my other notes from today, that was the most of it. Hurst and Gainwell and Tez. And then maybe my favorite part of the day, and I put it in my notes. This hawk comes flying through practice, right? And evidently there's a big lake out there, or retention pond or whatever. There's fish in there because this hawk got this big old fish. So he flew through practice with this huge fish in his
That is awesome.
I don't know what kind of sign that is from above, but maybe
are the Bucs the hawk or are they the fish?
Was it a falcon? I don't know. I don't know what that, but just things we see at practice, right? Things we see at practice. So, I think just in all that it was interesting couple of days. But to me, one of the headlines is like, are we really canceling?
That's just unbelievable.
It's a new energy out there. There's a new energy out there.
Not for long if you keep that up.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same energy.
All right. So I want to get to a couple of things. And I also wanted to hit this real quick. So Vita Vea, I think we got pictures of this as well. Vita Vea watching practice, if you want to throw that up while I talk about this. So Vita Vea is out there watching the defensive line do their drills, and they're having a good old time. They're doing, a little competition on who gets off faster. Let me see. I'll pull it up. I think maybe this one could be it. There it is. There's Vita number 50 in there. They're doing this drill. You can see the bands there, and Coach West is working on them. These guys are competing on who gets off faster. So they were having a good old time. But Vita's sitting there watching, and listen, his contract is up, and his contract has not been redone. He's one of those big contracts that they never redid.
Right. Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means if he doesn't get a new contract, there's no dead money.
Yeah.
So sometimes that can be a sign that they're not going to extend you. The thing with Nacho having a good old time. So the thing with Vita is he's 31 years old, right? He's 350 pounds. Now, since he started working with Ndamukong Suh in terms of his conditioning, he's been much more durable. Like early on in his career, he missed a lot of games. But since he's been working with Ndamukong Suh, he's gotten much more durable. He's played more snaps than he's ever played. And if you go by what Ndamukong Suh did, he's got 4 or 5 more good years left in him. And he's your best defensive player by far. And as Bowles has said, and I think anyone would agree, you can't play the defense that they play without him.
Right. He's
a super special player. He demands a double team and still makes plays. Those guys are very, very difficult to find. But what he can get on the open market. If there's 31 other teams out there, if they're willing to come get a piece and they need a guy that's going to play the middle and instantly changes your run game, instantly. If you're 28th against the run, you're going to go at least to 14th. And if you add a couple more players, you might be even more dominant than that. He's that good. In the passing game, he collapses the pocket. He's just, as Bowles said, you can't play this defense without him. He's our most important player. So if he's that, how much is he worth? 30 million? 25 million? I don't know. A lot. He's worth a lot. And the Bucs, if to sign him to another 3 or 4 years, what's your guarantee look like? Is it 70 million? Is it 80 million? I don't know. It's a lot. But it's a risk. A guy at his age and his size, typically, and Ndamukong Suh was very much the outlier. Guys, when you hit 30, 31, 32 that are that big, they just fall off the cliff. So if you're going to re-sign Vita Vea, it's going to be a gamble. But it's also needed. I mean, I just don't see this defense being better without him. But it may be just a matter of do we want to spend the money? So that's going to be a tough one. And you got Baker's situation. You know what's very interesting here to me? Last year, it was Camp Kumbaya, right?
Mm-hmm.
And no problem. We got Mike Dunn. He took less money. A bunch of guys took kind of less money. Baker was there. Everybody was all in. You really felt like everybody was all in. The organization was all in. Everything was there, right? And they finished 8-9, and they collapsed in the second half of the season. I mean, chemistry is important. There's no doubt about it, but it guarantees you nothing, especially when you lose your whole offensive line and they never play as a healthy unit. Team chemistry or health. Give me health any day of the week. You'll figure out how to play. And this year is completely different. You've got a quarterback whose contract situation is in limbo. Your best defensive player whose contract situation is in limbo. Your iconic wide receiver left your organization, frankly, because he doesn't believe in it, that you can win a Super Bowl. If he did, he'd still be here. You can argue that all you want, but the guy took way less money to move across the entire nation to go play for a team and an organization that he feels is all in and winning, which, by process of elimination means he doesn't think you are.
Yep.
So this is a much, much different organization a year later. It is an organization where guys are like, hey, man, ain't no hometown discount. Y'all are all about business. So am I. It's all about money, and I'm not going to practice here. Remember when Tristan Wirfs didn't have a contract? He was out there. Now, he wasn't practicing and doing some of the things, but he was out there because there was a feeling that, hey, we're going to get everybody done. Like Bake and Wirfs, let's just, we can all take a little bit less money. We're all in this together. Those days are done. Those days are done. Now it's very much kind of like every other team in the league. Guys are about business. Now, it doesn't mean you can't win that way. It doesn't mean you can't win. I mean, like I said, last year was Camp Kumbaya. They went 8-9 and underperformed. So what does it really mean? I've never seen a championship team that didn't have that chemistry. So I think it's necessary. And certainly if these guys get their contracts, everybody's happy. This is all part of like Bowles said today, it's just part of the business and it'll work itself out. There's nothing you can really do about it except let the general manager and the agent figure it out. And, and here's the bottom line is the organization has a plan. It has a plan. And you know who they're not going to tell? The players. They're not going to tell Elvita, we're working on a contract for you. No, we're not. And I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but they have a plan. They have a 3 to 4, 5 year plan on where they're going to spend their money. And it may not be on Vita Vea, which will be a huge loss, huge freaking loss, literally and figuratively. So I just think it's worth noting. I think that's where this organization is right now. For what it's worth.
Man, it has a different feeling to me than last time we were dealing with this. Like just, I'm not there in the building, but it just externally, it just feels like a completely different situation. Yeah. I totally agree. All right, let's see where we at. 131. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get you some Baker Mayfield, Emeka Egbuka today. Talked as well. If we have time, we'll do you a little Al-Qadim Mohammed from yesterday as well. I want to get to the comments here. We'll do that in our next segment as well. Talk a little bit of Rays. And, of course, Orestes will be joining us later on in the program. We're brought to you by the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. By the way, you buy a car right now, they'll give you free gasoline. Yeah, that's right. Free gasoline till October, I believe it is. They're always doing something like that at Genesis of Tampa. They will put in some big time incentives to get you to buy a car. And these are the best cars on the road. I drive the GV70. That's the car everybody's talking about. Midsize SUV with performance, luxury, and value. You will absolutely love that car. Go check out the full line at Genesis of Tampa, 801 East Bears Avenue, right up there off of 275. Back in 3.
Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch Roofing, roofing done right.
Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch, and everything is handmade, and the wings are big, and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service you get, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Oh, I'm reading all the comments. You guys are funny. You really are. I'm going to read them all. Get right to it here in a little bit. Thanks to the great folks at Riveters. Friday coming up at 3 o'clock. It is USA versus Australia. Gonna throw a few shrimps on the barbie. Watch the game, the World Cup game. Great debut by USA. I was there at Riveters on Friday night. It was fantastic atmosphere. Back to all the games. Heard it was packed last night for Argentina to watch Messi's hat trick last night. So if you want to get into the World Cup mood, get your ass over to Riveters for the afternoon games and the night games. All kinds of great stuff going on. The best wings, the best food. Happy hour goes from 3 to 7, so get your drink on. And all Rays games, like this afternoon, all Rays games, $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas, all Rays during the Rays games. So get you some of that. Get you some of that at Riveters, one of our great sponsors. All right, I'm going to get to our thoughtful commenters today because we're in a new time and you guys are still with us. I love you. I love you, Petermans.
How great is that?
What time does the Rays game start, by the way? I'm going to get it on my phone here. Keep an eye on that sucker today. Shohei Ohtani. How about that home run he hit last night, huh?
Is he still playing?
Rasmussen had absolutely owned him. Out of the 7 at-bats, he struck him out 5 times. By the way, there's no better starter in baseball in the last 5 years than Drew Rasmussen, and nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows who he is. The numbers have just been ridiculous this year. Last year, I mean, another 7 innings yesterday, 7 against the best lineup in baseball, 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 6 hits, no walks, 102 pitches, career high. Was just unhittable. In his last 2 outings, he's allowed, 3 runs? Yeah. He's just absolutely ridiculous. So today we have 3:10 Eastern time. It will be Shane McClanahan going against Shohei Ohtani. How about that matchup?
How about a big day from Shane today? You know what? You're predicting a possible no-hit bid by Shohei, right? I'm going to predict that the Rays lineup, because I'm looking at the lineup right now, comes out of the slump. 14 runs on 17 hits against Shohei Ohtani today.
I think the odds on that are higher than a no-hitter. I think they're higher. There would be higher than a no-hitter. How about that?
Saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe Shohei Ohtani strains an oblique in the 2nd inning and has to leave the game.
It's the only chance they got. Only chance they got is the old oblique. We don't wish that on anybody. Mike H says, don't worry, guys. Trump has an MOU with Iran. We know how those things work out.
Wow.
Charlie Miranda was there when the Strait of Hormuz opened, says Rick. He says oil is not big there like other countries.
Is he the one that doesn't know how to use oil?
He doesn't know how to use a computer. He was there when the Strait of Hormuz opened. Yeah, probably.
The hole.
Yeah. Is this the lineup today?
This is today's lineup. Yeah, if you can see it.
Yandy, Aranda, like it matters what the lineup is against Shohei today. Yandy, Aranda, Mullins, Caminero, and of course, Rissi Palacios hitting in the 5 spot, protecting Junior Caminero. What are we doing? What are we doing? I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Walls at 9? God,
Simpson, Mesa Jr. in right field, Fiducious catching and Walls at short in the 9 hole. Still, messing around with Simpson. Just put him in the 9 hole or the 1 hole, please.
In the middle of June, and we're still messing around with Simpson.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh, you guy can't hit." I'm like, "Well, you're bouncing him around." I don't know. I just don't like the way the Rays are handling him at all. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted, and Big O will be here in a little bit to talk about it. Danny Boy says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. I don't believe we're really going to know much more on the ballpark and entertainment complex until at the earliest Monday after July 4th, July 6th." Yeah, I think Hagan said the vote will be mid-July, 14th or 15th. So we still have some time for. But as I told you, texting with Ken Babby, the CEO, he believes the negotiations are going very well. As Alan Clendenin came on this show and said the same thing. It's a lot of good things going on behind the scenes. And that's all that matters. You can read all the stupid, ridiculous columns in the TBT that you want to read. None of that means squat. It's about the people that are making the decisions that are informed. And thank God for that.
May God have mercy on your
I saw Wolfstall post something criticizing anyone who uses the numbers from the 3 independent studies, economic studies that were done on this ballpark project. If you use any numbers at all, and of course the one that the county paid for, the TSA paid for, and the Rays paid for, done by extremely reputable firms that do this as their business, and billions of dollars are lent based on the numbers that they produce. But Wolfstall, who runs a little FedEx store, says, don't believe any of it. It's all fantasy. Okay, we'll believe you instead.
Just because the numbers don't support what he's selling.
Exactly. Kurt Thorson said James Caminero. Oh, come on, man. We're not doing that, are you? With another brain fart and obstructed Valade last night on a pop-up, made up for it with a 5-3 double play to end the inning. Yep, I saw it. And Valade's coming in on a pop-up that's got to be caught. Junior's coming out, and you can see Valade going, I got it. And everyone knows the guy coming in takes precedent over the guy going out. Yep. And instead of peeling off the first 2 times you heard Valade yell it, he waits to the last second and almost runs into him. Like, Junior, what are we doing? Come on now. I'm defending you every day against this shenanigans, but you got to just start playing smarter baseball. Get the fuck out of the way. Jesus. What are you doing, man?
James Caminero.
James Caminero. Kurt, you are. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. He's earning it, though. He's earning it. Rendak says it's glad to hear that the young players are all set for the season. Kurt says, JP, I agree with your sentiment about canceling Thursday practice. Had Bowles been approached by players led by Diaby, sentiment that practice is too soft and it affected games? Yes, exactly. And we're canceling practices after you already had one taken away. I don't get it.
Is there as much local backlash on this as there is on this show?
No, I think I started this narrative. I don't know if I started it, but I don't think it's talked about. I think Peter Report guys talk about it. I think they'll be talking about it on their podcast. By the way, Scott Reynolds is going to join us tomorrow. We'll have a little conversation about it. I mean, it's hard to quantify. We're not there in practice. We don't know what's going on all day. I mean, we see 2 practices, 1 a week. I mean, obviously Todd has way more information than we do, obviously.
Yeah.
But I just think if you get a practice taken away and your players are talking about it, and we see it, and your team's not prepared when it goes out to play. You yourself says we got to coach it better and we got to play it better. We talk about all these mental errors that are happening in week 17 and 18. And all I know is I hear coaches talk about this all the time. You win these games in the doldrums of the summer, and it's details, and that practice in the heat of OTAs, and you go over a detail, and if you don't get it down, you lose games in this. How many times have we heard coaches talk about this? So I'm just, I learned from you coaches that you tell me these practices are extremely important, and getting the details is the difference between being a mediocre team and a great team. But yet you constantly cancel practices. Take Thanksgiving off. Whatever. I mean, it's not. It doesn't match up. Just doesn't match up for me. Man. What did he say? Fox is buying Roku for $22 billion. Is that true? I'm not sure what that means, but
I guess Roku turned down our bid of $150.
Idiots.
What do they know?
Yeah. Captain K says the difference between the Rams and the Bucs, the Rams, of course, who canceled their mandatory OT days. Well, it's obvious. Coaching and much better team and much better coaching. Overall, I wouldn't worry if these were the Rams, but they're the Bucs. Yeah, exactly. Now, Rick has a great point here. He says less time with Coach Todd is probably better.
Well, but the problem is there's other coaches that probably need to get their message to the players. Doesn't have to be Todd.
A lot of new coaches out there.
Yeah.
I mean, did he consult Zach Robinson about canceling one of your 3 mandatory minicamp days? You think Zach's okay with that when he's installing a whole new offense?
And look, you don't think coming into this that Zach Robinson knows the schedule, right? And didn't have things planned for the day?
Yeah, and they plan these things out weeks in advance.
Yes.
I'm going to hold. So on Thursday, we're going to do this because we got to get this in. Oh, shit. We don't have Thursday.
No, we
now.
have no
Okay.
Thursday.
I mean, look, is it a big deal? I don't know. But for all the reasons we talked about. All right. So Kurt says.
Seems like a big deal.
We're going to make a big deal out of it. I'm going to tell you that right now. So Kurt watched because he's a teacher now and he has the summer off. Thank God. So thank you for doing this for us, Kurt, and reporting back. I'm not being the smart ass here, believe it or not. I appreciate this because this is valuable information. So I watched the BOCC meeting today. It's the county commission focused on a discussion of removing a TSA member due to conflicts of interest. The motion was made to do a deep dive into the TSA, a 2-part motion, review TSA policies and member financial disclosures, bring it to BOCC 2. So the next meeting. If a violation is found, we're going to send a letter to the governor. Hagan opined and expressed he doesn't believe the TSA members didn't do anything improper. He continued to explain the governor's support for the Rays Stadium would put these mutineers on TSA intently on the governor's radar. A letter wouldn't be necessary. So also TSA has no say or vote on anything. Hagan was moved to do something rather than nothing, and it passed 7-0. So, listen, as I said yesterday, nobody needs to be thrown off the TSA board. I don't think we've reached that level. Now, here's where my concern is, though. When they sent the letter to the 2 boards, the city and the county, saying that the Bucs should be prioritized, I have a problem with that. And Alan Clendenin had a problem with that as he sits on the TSA and the city council and is involved in all the negotiations and the meetings for this Rays ballpark project. And the reason is because there's an obvious conflict of interest here. And I don't mean it in a legal way. The TSA, their whole existence is running Raymond James Stadium and Benchmark and the Yankees and the Parks. They don't work with the Rays. The Rays have been in St. Pete for 30 years. Right? And here come the Rays. We want this money. Their natural inclination is going to be to support the Buccaneers, which is fine. But to take the extra step of, a strongly worded letter basically saying F the Rays and this is all about the Bucs. We should be bending over for them when the information that's presented is clearly not that. I mean, on his face, if you remove Bucs and Rays and you look at blind resumes on these 2 deals and what these deals give you and how much they cost, to Clendenin's point, the Rays deal is a totally different deal and brings a hell of a lot more back than what the Bucs are going to do. Now, how you quantify that is debatable, but I can tell you this: the Bucs aren't building 8 million square feet of taxable property. The Bucs are bringing 81 home games and probably another 75 to 80 events that are going to bring people in. A projected 9 million visitors, of which 75% are projected to be from outside the county, bringing new money in. The Bucs aren't doing that. It's a totally different deal. Now they're going to spruce up the stadium to bring us a Super Bowl. That's important. That's really important. But it's one game. It's a huge economic impact, but it's one weekend, 1 week. We're talking about 30 years, 35 years, the life of this stadium of 81 baseball games. So the deals are completely different, and it has nothing to do with liking the Bucs or the Rays. It's a numbers game if you're the TSA. And like Alan said, know your role and shut your hole. This is not your role to be doing strongly worded letters to say, screw the Rays, support the Bucs. Because first of all, you're saying we can't afford to do both. And and that's not true. Now, Are there some instances of people on this board that, listen, Andy Scaglione is a friend of mine, and he's at the middle of this because of he had to recuse himself because of the Ebor deal many years ago. And he is a developer and owns property, and and you could say, oh, well, if he sinks this deal where it is at Hillsborough College, well, maybe they'll move back to Ebor where his property is. Okay. Now that's a big leap, but he is the main person that is trying to sink this deal. So is there impropriety? Does it look bad? Yeah, that looks bad. Do I think that's what Andy's trying to do? No, I think he probably believes that he doesn't like the deal. I totally disagree with him. Obviously, he says that piece of property at Hillsborough College is worth as much as the Tropicana Field site, which is ridiculous on its face. Completely ridiculous. It's two totally different situations. So it doesn't look great, to be honest with you. But nobody needs to be thrown off the board because the board really doesn't have any legal legislative power here. Yeah, they can write strongly worded letters, but for the county and the city, they got to look at the numbers. So it's really a whole lot of nothing. And we're getting tied up in a lot of this stuff, and it's dirty and it's nasty, and it's, I don't want to say, I love Andy. He's a great dude. I like him, but we disagree on this deal completely. And I'm certainly don't want him kicked off or anybody else kicked off. Now, there's some people that are, talking about bringing in the FBI. I don't think that's all.
Good Lord.
I don't think we need to be doing that. But can't we all just get along and get this done? That's where I'm at,
FBI.
Yeah. So, and Hagen's right. It's like, come on now. This TSA board is they manage things. They don't vote on budgets and things like that carry legislative weight. So we shouldn't even, we're spending way too much time on it than we should. But I also think that there's some board members that I don't think that letter was great. And if the Bucs want to come forward and make a case for why their deal is better, let's hear from the Bucs, but they say no comment. They don't want to get involved. And I get it. They don't want to look like they're, the ones that are going to end this Rays deal. They don't want to be that guy. They don't want to look like that. Certainly in the public eye. That's not going to be good for their business. It's not going to be good for Tampa Bay. So I think cooler heads should prevail in this whole thing when it comes to the TSA, in my opinion, because they do a hell of a job running these stadiums. Eric Hart and Bobby Sylvester, another good friend of mine. I know all these guys, and they're great people, and they do a tremendous job at what they do. I mean, unbelievable. The events they run at Raymond James Stadium, every time some big act comes there or event comes there, they can't say enough good things about how we run things here. And they do a tremendous job, and that's what the TSA really is for. And that's what they do, and they produce, and they bring a lot of money in, and they kick ass. And that's what's important. With the board, is the board a part of that? Some of it, but it's mostly Eric and his staff that do all that stuff. And the sports commission. So, yeah, it's a lot to do about nothing is where it should be. All right. Pooh Shiesty says the Rays Pride game is this week, the 20th. I don't know if are they wearing jerseys or is it, I don't know how they're doing it. But I talked about that. Alejandro said, so we can have a lefty-righty platoon with Aranda and Williamson and let Devers play first. He wants to add Rafael Devers. Let's get him and have, especially the Yankees, where we know he has killed Yankee pitching in the past. Look, Caminero is seeing fewer strikes than any player in baseball. Nope. The ball he hit the other night was out of, that he almost hit out in the right field at Dodger Stadium. That was not a strike. He's not seeing any strikes because he's got no production behind him. And you want to ruin a young hitter? That's how you do it. They've got to get a bat behind him. And it should be Aranda or it should be Yandy. I don't care what you do. You just can't leave him this exposed. I think it's really bad. And I'll let Orestes talk about this when he comes in He can talk to it a lot more than me. Obviously, he's done it. He's been there. He knows what it's all about. So listen to him. Rick says, JP, quit burying the lead. The great shirtless wonder that is JTS retired yesterday. Will he be in the Ring of Honor next? We're talking about the great Joe Tryon Shawinka. My row at Ray J called him Sheboygan. He's retired, first round pick, never met expectations. He'll be able to tell his grandkids he played with Brady, Gronk, Evans, and Jamel.
And Jalen Hurts.
Jalen
if anybody
Hurts.
remembers who he is.
Yeah, I'll never forget, the day he was drafted, and we did a count of shirtless pictures. And he did, that was during COVID, and he chose not to play during the COVID season. Yeah. Looked like Tarzan, played like Jane.
Maybe he should have played COVID
Bad
season.
pick. John Hill says that wasn't a hawk, it was an osprey. It's an osprey that caught that fish today. You might be right. They do that. Yeah. Pooh Shiesty asked me, is Vita Vea is getting off faster after working with Sue? Yeah, I can't put anything by you guys. Yeah. Rick said Todd yelled at the osprey to take the rest of the week off.
Rick.
Damn it, you're working too hard. Put that fish down. Oh.
That's so ridiculous.
Kurt reminds us Wirfs was a hold-on back in 2024. Bucs got him signed long-term a couple days into training camp. Let's see what happens with Vita. His return from broken leg in 2020 sealed that Super Bowl victory, no doubt. That's true. That's 100% true. Thanks for reminding us of that. Yeah, I think Vita gets done. And I hope Baker and Vita both get done before the season starts. I think if you're the Bucs at this point, it's a critical moment. And listen, you can go try and chase player. You're not going to find anybody like Vita Vea. And I'm here to tell you, you might find a better quarterback than Baker, but the chances are you won't. And you're going to draft one in 27, and then how long's the rebuild? And is he ever going to be anybody? Is he ever going to be a guy that's going to be second in the league in passing touchdowns and passing yards that you draft and develop?
Brendan Sorsby.
The answer to that, Timmy, is a resounding effing no. Baker ain't perfect, but you start chasing rookie quarterbacks, good luck with that.
He's better than a lot of what's out there right now.
Yeah. A lot. And you don't know, you could take any quarterback coming out next year, any one of them. Would you take him over Baker?
Ooh, out of everybody coming out?
Yeah.
For 2027?
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of my head,
greatest class in a long time. Yeah, none of them. I'll give you. You don't have to look it up. It's a no.
I mean, I got it right here. CJ Bailey from NC State, CJ Carr from Notre Dame, Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss.
This is the great quarterback class of 27.
Jaden Maeva, USC, Arch Manning, Texas, Darian Mensah, Miami, Drew Mestamaker, Oklahoma State, who played last year at North Texas State University.
Yep.
Dante Moore, Oregon.
Didn't start in high school.
Julian Sayin, Ohio State. Lenora Sellers. Byron Brown.
They're all great athletes, but I mean, how long do you think it's going to be till those guys catch up to how good Baker's going to be in the next 4 to 5 years? Get the fucking deal done. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know who you would be banking on if it's not Baker.
And I think Todd, I mean, I just think that the Bucs, and Todd wants him, obviously, and I think Jason wants him. But they're just, listen, they got a lot of guys to sign. And I think what Jason's trying to do right now is get the best deal for the club that he can get. And that's his job, by the way. And these things aren't easy. And if you just, let the agents walk in the room and name the number, you're not doing your job. So let's not get mad at the Bucs until they decide not to sign Baker. Then we'll get mad at them and see. We'll find out what the numbers were and what you were willing to pay. But until that happens, there's no reason, I think, to get in to this. I'll say Todd has the right. All the questions that fired him about Vita and Baker and their contracts, he said, look, they'll work themselves out. And we're not thinking about it. We're not talking about it. There's nothing we can, not nothing we can do, but he's right. Let it work itself out. Vita's not going to practice. Who cares? He doesn't need to be practicing now anyway. And if he gets, in the first 2 weeks of camp, I'm fine with that too. He knows what he's doing. There's no reason for him to be out there for an extended period of time. Pooh Shiesty says, is the goal for the Rays Stadium to break ground at HC by the end of the year? Yes. Fourth quarter. Yep. And if they get the vote done in mid-July, that's completely doable. Mm-hmm. And the documents should be ready soon. Definitive documents should be ready to vote on soon. And I think they're going to pass. Again, let me just ask you guys this. If you deleted all the stupid social media stuff from the same 6 guys in St. Petersburg and Orlando and deleted every ridiculous column that the TPT has written over the past 4 months, 5 months, where would you be on this deal? You'd be really positive. You'd be listening to the county and the city and saying, yeah, there's a few people that are, grandstanding, but we got the votes and it would probably be done by now. But we're not there, but we're going to get there. So be optimistic. Okay. What else we got here? Mike H says Washington is not taking off practice. They have first-time offensive and defensive coordinators, need as much time as possible together. Yeah, I don't get it. Every organization's different, but I think if you're in the situation the Bucs are in, you need every minute on the grass that you can get. Mike says now they want to get all up in the business with TSA members and financial disclosures. Yeah, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for it. And I know Ken doesn't want to do it, but he's being forced to do it. Again, the TSA, it seems like they have a lot of say in matters, but they really don't. So, but I think from a political standpoint,
management organization, right? Like that's all they really do.
Yeah.
They don't have the authority to do anything.
And I know a lot of them, and they're really nice people, and they're great leaders, and they're, but they don't have any legislative really power. So, like, who cares? Just stop writing silly letters. Kurt says, even if Ray J is renovated, NFL wants stadiums to have an adjacent entertainment district. Why Miami is now being denied Super Bowl. So Ray J doesn't have that, but the Rays district will. Yes, Mr. TSA board. If you want a Super Bowl, you should be supporting the Rays proposal because you can't get one without an entertainment district. And wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. And wouldn't it be nice to hold the NFL, what do they call that? The kickoff thing, or the old at the indoor facility that is your Rays Stadium if you have a Super Bowl. How many events could you have in that big air-conditioned, wonderful space? A lot.
Many as you want.
Yeah, setting up a Super Bowl with an entertainment district next door, that could be your media center, for God's sakes. That's where you could do your media day, and it's right across the street. It just really, really brings everything together so well. As Kurt says, yes, a climate-controlled, state-of-the-art baseball stadium would bring far more events than Raymond James and enhance the games that are and events that are at Raymond James. If you were doing, WrestleMania and you didn't want to do it indoors, you get in doing it next door, you could have a lot of the ancillary events next door at the Rays thing. It just adds to the value of the entire sports complex and makes us big time. And that makes, when people start looking at events and we say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. This is where the media center is going to be, right next door to this. And then this is where we're going to do media days. And this is where we're going to do that's just how you get events. You bring these great, bring this great plan. And there's all these different things we can do. And we have a concert venue right next door that we can do this. You have this concert or that event or that. And it's all, right there. That's what these event people love. They have everything in the same area. You go to Miami, it's like the TV stations want to be down on South Beach. They want to be down here. They want to be over here. It's everything is all spread out. Whereas this should have that, and you'd have light rail going right through all of it. Thank you very much. Mike says, if they bring Devers here, I will boycott the team. Most hated player of all time. That's the old, everybody hates him, but if he plays for you and he plays really good, you love him.
Team.
You think
Sanders.
do you think the Panthers fans like Brad Marchand now or not?
Yeah.
Probably do. Did they hate him before? Yes.
Yep.
I don't like Devers bullshit, frankly. I don't think it would be a fit for us, but if that's the only bat we can get to protect Junior Caminero, I'll take it. Because at some point it's, Thomas Castro says, yeah, people on TSE making decisions that knowingly and undisclosed benefit themselves. I get that. But those decisions, Thomas, really don't carry weight. Now, if you're a county commissioner and you're or a city council person and you live and die on what the TSA is going to tell you in terms of this letter that they send you, well, then, yeah, I guess that they do have power. And that's why I don't think they should have sent the letter. But I think the people on the commission and the council should know better and look at they have all the information. They can make their own decisions. And I think, again, if I'm looking at the TSA, who has been, basically in bed with the Lightning, the Yankees, and the Bucs for years and years and years, well, then I should know right away that they haven't, they don't know the Rays because they've been in St. Pete. They're not going to be in favor of them. And again, not in a nefarious way. It's just like, it's not what they've been. It's not who they've been around. They know all the people at the Bucs. They know all the people here. They're friends with them. So there's just a natural inclination to support them. And so if I were a council member, I'd say, that's great. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you for that. But I can be a little bit more objective here. So, if that letter carried, voting weight, then we'd have another conversation. Alejandro says Vita, Baker, Yaya will get big contracts by the end of the season. I agree. And they should.
How big we talking though? Like what's
that's
big?
the deal, are any of these guys leaving money on the table for other guys to sign? I don't think so.
The man together? I don't
think that attitude exists anymore.
No, not at all. And they're all important pieces. That's the problem. Obviously prioritize Baker, but
Rick says Todd burst into Jason's office and said, I need Vita Vea to run this defense for years to come. Jason, don't worry, Todd. He won't have to next season. Yeah. Maybe it's Tomlin. Maybe it's McDermott. Lots of rumors out there. But you know what, Todd? Go win a couple of playoff games, and you ain't got to worry about that.
Yep.
Mike says, if new indoor baseball stadium, will motocross and monster truck be there now? Could be.
Wherever they want it.
Could be. And that's the thing. The Bucs and the Rays would be in competition for events. But my point is there'll be more events to be had. Mm-hmm. So the pie gets bigger. So, it's not a finite pie. EC, growing pie. So everybody wins. And don't you think the Bucs would get more, events if they had light rail coming to there, or more people coming to games? I think they would. So, Pooh Shiesty says, I just love that. I don't even call you JS813 anymore. You're just Pooh Shiesty. That in addition to mixed-use development, you also get that light rail system, right? Imagine connecting the airport, West Shore, the stadium complex, downtown, and the Brightline station in Ybor. Becomes iconic. Synergy. Yeah. That's why, it's one of the things I think we've done better than anybody else, Timmy, is we look at the project. We talk about the project. We don't just talk about the stadium.
Yeah, because it's not just about the stadium.
Exactly. It never has been. That's why they're doing the project and not just doing a stadium. It all has to work together, and all the benefits kind of work in synergy. If you get the Hillsborough College money, then you can clear the land and get the stadium and build the entertainment complex that brings in the 9 million people that allow you to get the light rail, and everything works together. Now, if you want to just say, oh, we're clear the land and here come the developers, and none of it works together and you don't have a raised baseball team, that's stupid. That's dumb. That's a terrible use of what it could be, because you have this great asset in the Rays that wants to build here that 10 other cities are hoping to get.
Yeah.
All right, let's take another break. We'll come back. We'll give you a little bit more of the Baker Mayfield from yesterday. Got some really good sound from him. We'll do Emeka Ibuka, and also we'll hear from Johnny Gerber. Our U.S. Open picks are coming up, and Orestes Destrada. So we got a lot to do in this last hour. Stay with us. Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed, they need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to fanstreamsports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. fanstreamsports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream, fanstreamsports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back. We'll be talking Rays a little bit with the Resist Estrada coming up here, and we got a Big O show for you coming up around 3:30. We'll be watching the game with you and commenting, so that'll be fun. Big thanks. Speaking of Rays baseball, MOR TV is your Rays baseball station here in Tampa Bay. They will be showing the Rays Nats game on Friday night, 7 o'clock, right there on MOR TV. Free over-the-air broadcast television for you to enjoy. No app needed. So just go to wherever your local stations are. If you got YouTube TV, it's down in that local station area. You will find the Rays game on Friday night at 7 o'clock on MOR TV. They got 10 games this year, so really cool. And they, by the way, as an aside, they have been selling out spots like nobody's business. So they're getting great ratings. Sales are good, and that means good things for the Rays. Lots of fans here, and that will help their finances in the long run once they get that whole TV network thing figured out. And I think, that's going to be a big part of the negotiations. If the owners, whatever, can get this salary cap, salary floor, and combined TV rights deal, that's going to be huge for baseball. And I think it'll be better for the fans. There'll be more games free over the air. You'll be able to pay for them too, but I think it'll be better for everybody. And MOR TV is already doing that, so we like that. All right, let's get to some Baker Mayfield from yesterday. Here's Baker. I think it's a question I asked, so it's got to be good, about the offensive line and having all the big boys back.
Great.
I'll play it.
Said it time and time again. I think when those five guys are healthy, it's the best unit in the league. Unfortunately, they didn't take one single snap together last year, and that'll affect your play. It's too hard to win in this league without your big boys. But on the other side of it, it gave a lot of guys some experience and some reps. They were thrown into there. So you're looking at it, we have a great group up front, but we also have guys that have had experience and been thrown in the fire. So depth-wise, I feel really good about it. It's course of the season, somebody's going to get banged up. You're going to have people sub in and do that. But I think we're prepared for that, and I think the guys are hungry just to get back out there and take control of the game because they know how good they are when they're all rolling.
Yeah, that is such a huge part of it. And listen, they're back together now. Will they stay? Yeah, I mean, Cody had an ACL. He feels great. He's recovered. Bredesen, I think he had a shoulder injury. Worf's knee is obviously much better. So yeah, hopefully it will be better. Here's another one on Baker talking about the run game.
Still hate losing more than I love winning. I think that was the most frustrating thing.
About last year.
Some of those games that we had won based on the little details late in games early in the season, that we weren't doing the same things in the back half of the year. Whether that's attention to detail, not taking each meeting install for granted, and making sure that no matter at what
each
point
meeting,
the season is, you're over
each install,
especially with different guys in there, making sure you're talking about the little details, the timing, like, hey, you have to be at this point. And right now, you got to be open. You're number one in the read, or you're last in the read. You can take your time. You can kind of mess with your release and whatnot. So just over communicating some of the conceptual things. But I learned that no matter what, I was fighting through a lot, but I was trying to be the same person for these guys each and every day. And to me, that's what a good leader does.
Feel like you tried to do too much at times?
No, I think there were times.
Is asked if you feel like you did too much, tried to do too much.
Trying to force the ball in certain situations. There's a lot of throws I want back. Don't get me wrong on that, but in the flow of the game, you have to react, you have to trigger it, and I've always played like that. And last year some of those plays didn't go my way, but yeah, moving forward, it's still got to be consistent for these guys each and every day, and let the big boys handle it up front and roll from there. I feel really confident about where our defense is at, and instead of trying to have to put up 30 each game, I feel confident that we're going to have a really good team.
Having that offensive line back intact, can you get back to that 24 running game? It was really a huge key for you guys to win and helps everyone.
Yeah, I think so. I think, this is not to downplay Josh Gazard whatsoever because I love Grizz. But I think Zach, with his understanding and history of the run game and obviously his relationship with Liam and him talking to those guys about, the things that these guys are really good at, and obviously he's learning it, He's seen it firsthand, so I think that's going to help us out. It's, you used to say that the offense runs through Mike, but even in 24, it still ran through the run game, and that opened a lot of things up for us. So guys know that you can't just sit back there and drop back 50 times a game. That's not a recipe for success in this league. So they understand that it's a physical game, that we have to be that way.
Speaking of the running game, Sean Tucker's one of those guys that had to step up last year.
All right. So this is, and I'm going to be harping on this all preseason, and that's that run game and those offensive linemen. Baker, I mean, he said it right there. Get back to the 24 run game. And that's Liam Cohen, and that's Zach Robinson. There's concepts that Grizz just really didn't understand or didn't get to or whatever. And I think Baker's trying to be as nice as he can. You're an experienced play caller. Look what he did with Bijan Robinson up in Atlanta. This run game is going to be so much better. And not only with Bucky, but Gainwell. Gainwell is a great running back. We love Rashad, and he did a lot of good things, but he's a 3.4 yards per carry guy. Gainwell and Bucky can get it into the 4.5s, 5.5s. His rookie year, Bucky's was at 5.4.
Mm-hmm.
That was the 24 running game with Liam Cohen. So that to me is such a huge key. Once you get that going, defense is on its heels, easier to pass block. You're controlling the game, better for your defense. All those things. That run game is key. And the offensive line, Zach Robinson, adding Gainwell, all that makes it better. Here's another thing. This is Baker talking about the Netflix quarterback series coming up, which he will be featured, and all of it's already been shot. It's from last year. We're going to go behind the scenes while things were crumbling at the end of the year.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So Baker talked a little bit about that, why he wanted to do it, why he didn't do it earlier in his career. I thought it was really interesting.
I think turning it down the first few times, I think for me it seems like it's a me thing. And I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be like that. So talking to guys that have done it in the past, continuous conversations with Peyton Manning about it's really not that invasive. Somebody's going to be mic'd up on a game day anyway, once a week during practice. And just for me, a couple of sit-down interviews outside of the building and capturing some family footage. So I wanted to get a lot of that stuff captured just as a phase of life that we're going through right now in the next chapter of the journey for us. But also, I think I do it to myself, but people have a persona or an idea about who I am until you really get to know me, which is fine. So I hope that gives an insight to the fact that I truly love this game, I love my teammates, and I bust my ass.
How much did you feel like you needed to be? Because you talked about it a lot with us. The Bucs have allowed me myself. Being in that type of environment, I'd imagine that allows you to be in a position where you feel like you can let down your guard and allow this.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you feel comfortable enough, and it's been open and honest communication from the get-go since I've been here. And so anytime you feel like that, and they know all I want to do is win. So as long as that wasn't going to be a distraction, as long as it wasn't going to take away from the real goals at hand, it was going to be okay. And they made sure of that.
Baker, how do you
exactly? Yeah.
How do you feel like you're off?
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be really interesting. And I think Baker's right on. I think if he'd have done it the first 2 years, it would have looked a little weird. So I think his timing is absolutely perfect. Having the babies, just he's grown into such a different person than the perception of him was early on in his career. And I do think he's going to look really good. I think it's good for the organization. I also think, they're going to want to sign his ass when this gets better, because he's going to be even more popular than he is before, which he's very popular here anyway. So yeah, I love the idea of him being on. I think it's going to be. I hadn't really thought about that, but people are going to really learn to love Bake even more. And how, as an organization, are you going to feel if you let him walk and he goes out and has a great year? Because once training camp starts and he gets into this, he has more control than the organization does. I know they can franchise him, but I just think they're going to want to sign him. That'll be interesting.
Can you imagine letting Mike walk and then Baker the following year?
That's bad luck. And Vita Vea?
And Vea too.
Yeah. And there's no need for it. You can afford them all. Salary cap is, this better than anybody in Dallas. It is what you make it, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to push some things down the line. I get it. but why would you not? You got a great opportunity here to win big. I really think so with Baker and this group, and it may not be this year, but if you sign these guys, then it's for next year and beyond, and Todd may or may not be the coach. So if I'm the Buccaneers, I'm signing Baker Mayfield. I'm making that happen. And I don't think Baker's going to go to the, demand $65 million a year. I don't think that's part of it. I think you can get him for 180 guaranteed over 5 years at about 50, 55 a year. I think you can do that. And they should get her done. Get her done. All right, quick break. When we come back, the Big O is here, and we're going to talk some Rays baseball. Johnny Gerber will be along at the end of the show to talk U.S. Open, which the rough at Shinnecock, he said, very, very penal rough at Shinnecock.
I love penal rough.
Especially at Shinnecock. Oh, yeah, do with that what you will. Unscramble that. All right, quick break. Back in 3 with the Big O. JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you. Big thanks to Italiano Insurance, the great folks over there. They will soon be part of Gallagher Insurance. A little name change, but same great folks, same great customer service you've known for over 65 years. They do all the work. You save all the money. ItalianoInsurance.com at 813-877-7799. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch and everything, is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
We're useless now, Timmy. Men are useless now that women have found Claude and Chat GPT. Big O and I were just talking about that. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Big O is here. I should add his camera in
You
here.
put your camera up?
You getting to the other side? Go ahead. Yeah, there we go. He's changing over. He likes this angle better. I don't blame him. By the way, we're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, soon to be Gallagher Insurance. So what does that mean for you? Same great service from the Italiano team, but it opens up more markets, better prices, better options for you as an insurance customer. So that's the best of both worlds. You got the little deal with the local folks, the big deal with the national folks, which is a great deal. So yeah, it's Italiano Insurance and Gallagher Insurance teaming up to give you even better service coming your way. 813-877-7799. All right, the Big O is here. What's up, partner? How are you, man?
Italiano with a Gallagher, so that's like Irish and Italian kind of grouping together. Is that what's going on there?
You know, I hadn't thought about it that way.
It's kind of cool, though.
Sounds like a good party, though.
It does.
The Irish and the Italians together.
Oh, those drinks.
There'll be beer and wine to be had.
Food
and food galore.
What?
Now the Irish like don't bring the Irish food.
No.
They bring the potatoes, right? That's just
the
potatoes.
The Irish
drinking.
Yeah. With their ouch. Yeah, we don't have to go.
Potatoes and corned beef. It's about all you got.
Yeah, but they have a strong drive for drinking.
They do.
So it's a good combination to go with the Gallagher.
I married the only Irish girl that didn't drink.
Really? That was probably one of the problems.
It's a red flag right there.
That's a red flag right there. Should have known better, son.
Good God. How are you, partner?
Come on, son.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm hot. It's a hot day in Florida today.
It is. You know, it's this week.
I know you sent a text I think earlier this week. It must have, or maybe it was last week where you were at OTAs and you're like, damn, it's hot out.
He's hot. But it's Florida. It is
Florida.
what it is.
You just get used to it.
It's not like LA.
No.
It's not like LA where you go. I think the Rays are probably enjoying the weather.
No, man. They're just having listen, here's the deal. They're 5-9 in this June swoon scenario. But I will say, and you know that I always try to find that sliver of optimism. And I am concerned. Don't get me wrong.
Not panicking, but concerned.
I'm not panicking, but I'm concerned because this thing could go south quickly. Yeah. But here's the positive thing. Sans today's game, that if I was a betting man, I kind of have to be all in on Shohei Ohtani.
I'm going to bet on no hitter.
No, the only reason, I thought about that last night as they, Shohei ends up hitting a home run to be the deciding one run to win the game, and then you're going home getting ready to start a major league game the next day. But he's been averaging 6 1/3. They still are gonna remember. He
ain't gonna go complete game.
They have two. Recently got only on the IL, but extended into the 60-day IL. And that is Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow.
Our friends.
Right?
It's about $80 million on the shelf.
Right. Actually, when you think about it, but they were ours.
Yeah.
But here in Tampa Bay. But with those guys down, I was thinking, man, this guy is primed right now. The way that he's pitching with a 1.07 ERA, throwing lights out, has so many ways to beat you. I think
1.06.
1.06. Righties are hitting like 113 off them. I just looked it up earlier. Lefties are hitting like 137. It's just ridiculous.
0.84 whip.
Yeah. I mean, he has so many weapons offense where he's a perennial 280 to 300 hitter, can steal a bag, can obviously take you deep. He's timely and clutch, but on the mound, I think people don't realize that on the mound, Shohei Ohtani is actually a more dangerous baseball player, and he has so many different pitches to beat you with. And that's why, for example, righties right now are hitting 131, lefties are hitting 173. So that's why when you look at the lineup today, it's stacked with lefties. The last 5 hitters are all lefties. But regardless, not guys that have had too many ups against them anyway. So advantage Shohei. One more thing I'll say about that. It's always difficult, having lived through this, the day game after a night game, when you have a starter in that day game for the opponents. That's a tough one. It's a
even worse,
game.
right?
Yeah.
If
So
you're
it makes
the opposing team.
It makes it so much difficult. So betting man, you got to think, advantage Dodgers, no hitter type thing with this weekend offense right now. No, because I don't think they'll let them go 100, 110 pitches. I just don't see it. He would have to throw some sort of Mizorowski type game where, the Les Mis, through 95 pitches to get through a one hitter shutout. But could he go 6 or 7 strong and punch out 12? Yes, very easily with this team. And so then where do you go? You're potentially 5-10. Where you go is so June doesn't explode on you. You come home, have the day off. You have Washington for 3, Kansas City at home.
Yeah.
If there is a pivotal homestand in this season,
this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
And it's not about gaining ground on your AL East appointments.
No.
It's about wins.
Yeah.
Half behind Philadelphia, who's been lit on fire, right? They're 8.5 behind the freaking strong Braves.
Yeah.
They're playing well. They're hitting well. They're surprising. Beatable. Kansas City, second worst team in the major leagues.
Got to get some wins
behind the lowly Colorado Rockies.
Right.
You got to jump on that. I think they're a minus 55 run. Offense is weak, pitching is weak. They're looking to unload some of their guys. Then Arizona has been a disappointment, and they're playing right around 500 baseball. Can be scary. If Corbin Carroll and Cattell group up, they can beat you by themselves over a weekend series. But beatable with their pitching. So this homestand, after you get through today,
100 right now, still obviously in the lost for their last 6 games. The offense is sputtering.
Yeah.
The lineup today again makes absolutely 0 sense to me, partner.
I mean, what aspect?
And I was going to ask you about this because I talked about
it.
It's the lack of protection for Junior Caminero.
Yeah,
he is not. Last night I heard him say
behind him.
Yeah, last night I heard him say that he's seen fewer strikes than anybody in baseball.
How about that?
And he's going outside the zone to get his hits. And I said nothing ruins a young hitter better than having the weight of the organization on your bat to produce RBIs. And nope, the bad habits. It's a recipe for disaster.
Not only the weight of the organization, which should be paramount and first, but also pridefully, the year that you had last year, you want to kind of show everybody, and
you're on the world stage. stage now.
Massively on the world stage.
Right. You can talk to that.
Yeah. I mean, he is. He's beloved not only in the United States, Dominican Republic now. He's popular all the way to Tokyo, brother. So, in fact, it's showing his popularity that he's leading in the voting as third baseman right now in the American League. So that goes to show you where he went from last year, having that incredible season with 45 jacks, 110 RBIs, but also, having great WBC and showing all his wares. Listen, this guy is probably trying too hard. You're right. What do you have directly behind Caminero? Palacios, Simpson, Mesa Jr., Fiducia, Walls.
What are we doing?
There's nothing there.
Where's Aranda?
If you're Shohei and it's man on second and third, and here comes Caminero in a 0-0 game or a 1-1 game.
You won't see a single strike today.
Yeah, he's pretty much keep his bat on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And
base on balls is not going to get you where he wants to go.
It's part of the game.
It's part of the game.
Part of a slugger's game, by the way.
Absolutely. Tough for a 22-year-old to accept his walks.
Yeah. But it's limited as to what you do, because who do we have? I mean, the only guy that I can think that's not in this lineup today that I think you would love to have and start him at second where he could play, actually, believe it or not, but definitely have him in the lineup somewhere and maybe not start Mesa Jr. and put Blade in the 5-hole. But you're going again with the Statty Seth situation, and you're going, well, lefties, righties are only hitting 131 against Shohei. Lefties are hitting 170 something, and none of these guys have much tenure hitting against Shohei to begin with. Who's the only guy that has hit him on this lineup? My favorite guy. Come on now. Who's the center fielder for the Tampa Bay Rays
today?
It'd
be Mr. Mullins
hitting third. He actually has a couple of jacks off of Shohei Ohtani.
He's hot. He's been hot.
He's been hot.
So
what do you do? Why not then flip-flop and go Diaz, Aranda, Caminero, Mullins, just to give a little fear factor? To
Palacios ain't giving you.
Palacios
Simpson is not giving you any fear factor if you're Shohei Ohtani.
You make a valid point there. So it's going to be very interesting. And, that also leads me to one thing that we'll talk on the Big O Show too, is just comparing current roster, chock full of injuries on both sides. Chock full of injuries, right? You've got the Dodgers with Glass down. Will Smith,
and they still have an all-star team.
Yeah, Will Smith is down. Edwin Diaz is down. Kike Hernandez is down. But you know what? You got Robolowski, who just pitched yesterday. Got his 8th win. The guy's a beast. Young arm. Fantastic arm.
They have the depth, and that's what really
Hurt, who came in, and has been a monster for them. Dalton Rushing, replaces Will Smith and is a heck of a hitter. Maybe not as good defensively at catching, but right there. When the Rays missing Pepio, Boyle, Rodriguez, Uceda, DeLuca, Fraley, you're going with Jax, Seymour, Legumina. That's where you run into a problem.
Yeah. They need relievers bad.
Relievers will be there. There's always a bunch of relievers available at the trade deadline. They will not have a problem. Yeah, they will. No, they'll go after a reliever or two.
Yeah.
It's just, are you going to go after a hammer, number 3 starter, a quality guy will you have so much for certain teams. Would you go after a Peralta? Would you go after Joe Ryan? Will you go after a Sandy Alcantara if the Marlins they're playing great right now?
But that's what that's what this homestand is about. If they can, they're 12 over right now. If they can come out of this like 15 over,
at least
plus 3 on the home set the homestand, I think you put yourself in the buyer's position.
Correct.
Because if 15 over, you're probably 12 games up. Yeah,
to not make the playoff.
Right. So we'll see. All right, you want to stick around for U.S. Open talk?
I just want to hear some stuff, man. This is exciting.
All right, it's U.S. Open time, and our guys open here, and it is, so to speak. This is why I'm not on the Golf Channel, because 16-year-old JP starts with all the double entendres. You give me
more like 13.
You give me Shinnecock, heavy rough, penal rough,
all day today.
Balls, shafts, all
Right.
these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be a very double entendre on Wednesday here.
I love
all
it.
day
Because
today.
Johnny Gerber is dealing with two 12-year-olds here with me and Timmy. You're gonna try to keep this thing up, Johnny Gerber. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good, buddy. Hey, listen, I've been asked all day how difficult Shinnecock is, and here's the best thing I can tell you. A scratch player who's a really good player, if you go to your club that's a scratch player, in all intents and purposes, they're good players, right?
Yeah. Right.
They would play this golf course and they wouldn't break 100.
Wow.
I'm just telling you, they wouldn't break 100.
100? Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you this. Because first off, they've never seen rough like this. They've never seen the speeds of the greens. They've never played in wind in this. If they break 100, it's a good round, and that's a scratch player. That's a player. So they do these tests a lot, right? Like the day after the U.S. Open, especially the U.S. Open, when you make it this difficult. This is the last U.S. Open in 2018 over par 1. So you're playing the test of the test. And they do this. So last time they was at Shinnecock, a scratch player, one of the good players at a local club around there, shot 98, and he said he played well.
Good God.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
And this just goes to show how good these guys are, first off. And it's just, man, it's a week this week is going to be a little bit different from a normal U.S. Open, because this is more like a British Open golf course, right? So you're looking at, how the golf course is structured. The only little bit difference is at Shinnecock, the greens are a little bit elevated, so you're hitting up on some of your second shots. But from tee to green, it's more set up like a British Open golf course than a normal kind of old school tree line golf course like they had at Oakmont last year. And don't get deceived on terms of everybody says it's 48-yard fairways, but they play super small because 14 of the holes are going to be crosswind. They're not going downwind or into you. So they're crosswind. So the corridors are a lot smaller for most people. And being creative is the key.
And the green,
absolutely they're tilted. And to have a big miss here is better than a short miss on this golf course, because the crowds will be trampling. But a miss is a miss, and it's going to be a penalty. How it works. It just, like I said, 2018, it's the last U.S. Open that was over par that won. I think J.J. Spawn shot even last year, or one under and won. So it's a test. It's a test, and I'm looking forward to these guys getting beat up. I'm looking forward to really it is. I mean, one time a year, right, or twice a year. It's just what it is, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and I love it.
Yeah.
How much are we looking at weather being a factor here, Johnny? I'm hearing the weather's not supposed to be great.
Windy.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the ocean, right? You're up there, you're on the ocean. It's going to be certainly going to be windy. A calm day there is probably 15 to 20. That's a calm day. So they're going to have an opportunity to, I think the USGA, they made some mistakes in 2018 that they don't want to make again here at Shinnecock. It kind of got it on the verge of unfair, to the point they got the greens too fast and some of the wind is blown up. But here's the big significance is watch the early tee times. Like tomorrow, you're going to see some really good scores because it's going to be softer, and then the wind picks up in the afternoon. So but they got to play in waves. The guys who play early tomorrow are going to play late. So they're going to get both, but don't be surprised if you see some really good scores in the morning, and then they kind of move themselves backwards on Friday afternoon, because the guys playing in the morning tomorrow are playing in the afternoon when the wind will pick up. So wind's a factor, and conditions will be a factor. I'm not so sure they're going to get any rain, but it is on the ocean. You just don't know when you can get some of that blowing through. But they would rather play in the rain to soften it up a little bit. They're not going to mind the rain. They're not going to mind the rain at all if they do get that.
We've got a lot of picks on your card, including an extra one because you won. Apparently, you just couldn't pass up. So let's go ahead and get to some of your picks today, Johnny.
Yeah, let's get to it.
I mean, man, I've really built this card in guys who have played well at the British Open and guys who flight the ball extremely well. And again, value. Now, there's a couple guys we left on our card, and it's by extreme value. You look at a guy like Xander Schauffele, who potentially has a chance to win this. He has the lowest score as a player that and anyone's ever played the U.S. Open that hasn't won. But That being said, there's not a place for him on our card. He was 14-1 to win. And even if you put him in the top 10, you know, he was like plus 175. So you can't make any money on him.
Right.
Leaving him off our card doesn't mean he's not going to have a chance to win. We just didn't see value for our card. And we talk about that all the time. It's not, hey, who's going to win, who's going to win. We just got to look at where the value is.
For not betting purposes, give me 30 seconds or a minute on who you think might win and why. Not for non-betting purposes, just, you know, who do you like?
Xander's the top of the list because his track record in the U.S. Open, how he flights the ball, how creative he is certainly a guy that's going to be favored. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's very stoic. His emotional control is fantastic, which is exactly what you're going to need here. And like I said, and his form's been okay. He plays very good in the wind. I mean, he can hit it butthole high, right? And that's just what a lot of these times you're going to have these shots to be able to do that. And again, but for our betting purposes, it just didn't fit in our card when we see value. It's just what it is.
Okay. What about Scheffler? You like Scheffler at all?
No,
this week?
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And here's why I tell you that.
He might never win another tournament ever again.
Well, that's not true either. But again, that's a little strong statement. But what I'm saying is he hits the ball a little bit too high for this place.
Yeah.
And the way he's swinging at the golf, he has a little bit too much spin off his driver, and not to get too technical, but his driving accuracy is not how I want, especially with the crosswinds that's happening. His golf swing has changed to where he's hitting the ball with a little bit too much fade, a little bit too much spin, a little bit like what Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa is the highest spin player on the PGA Tour. He spins the ball too much. And with these crosswinds and wins, he won the British Open. He won the PGA, but he got very lucky with there was no win when he won that. So, you know, take that into consideration. But you also look at the guys on our card that Russell Henley at 30-1. I love his form. I mean, this is a guy that's not going to get out of kilter. He's going to be very controlled what he is. He hits it very low. He hits it very controlled. And Poe greens this time of year in North are very similar to Bermuda. There's some grain. There's some Poe that will get that, and he's a very good putter on that. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. Patrick Reed at 40-1, maybe the best outright bet on the card. 40-1 for Patrick Reed. I mean,
good money.
Not going to be out of the tournament. I think that, you know, he's going to grind the eyeballs off of it, and he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's going to be there at the end. Now, it's a tournament again. It's probably going to be between -2, +2, maybe get to 5, depending on the weather. So he's going to be a guy that doesn't have to make a lot of birdies, but he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. Here's a little bit of the wild card, Chris Goddard at 40-1. Last year, he won the Scottish Open, played well at the British Open the week after. And again, look at these guys who I built the card, who have played well at the British Open, past winners. This golf course that's set up a little bit more like a British Open than a U.S. Open. And Goddard with his creativity. I mean, listen, sometimes he can hit it as low as a shoestring, and sometimes he can hit as high as the cloud. So at 40-1 with a guy that's that creative with Chris Goddard, a solid putter from New Jersey, used to play in this type of weather in the summertime from Jersey, New York. I think there's good value at 40-1. I mean, the stalwart here at 75-1 with Harris English. I mean, the guy always contends in the U.S. Open. Again, if it gets to 10 under par, which it won't, 8 under par, which it won't, I don't like him. It's going to be weather dependent with Harris English. He's a medium flight player. He doesn't hit it high, doesn't hit it low, but he's a medium flight player. But he's never going to get out of his emotions. You never see any emotion out of Harris English, and I like that. I think the confidence last year playing at Bethpage in the Ryder Cup, I think it's going to give him some confidence. Getting used to playing in New York, this type of conditions, you know, Bethpage is not too far from where they're playing this week. And I think that he played extremely well at 75-1. Again, value. And this is a guy I just couldn't pass up, JP. 175-1, Brian Harman, a British Open winner.
Super ham sandwich. All right.
I had to add that, man. It was just worth the extra $100 bill for that. We never do that. But at 175-1 from a British Open winner 2 years ago, the guy that can flight it better than anything. Now, listen, if it gets windy, he's going to have an advantage because he's 5'2" and he can kind of walk underneath the wind, and he's not going to get blown over. I mean, he's not. He's just the guy.
That's for real.
What he is.
That's for real.
It's a serious deal. It really is. Now,
Altuve
Orestes, you'd be blowing over there in the ocean, man, because they're 6'5", man.
That's
and
not good. Tall guys aren't good in that deal.
Tall guys aren't good in this. They're not.
He's the Jose Altuve of
blow you right into Long Island Sound
of the Open.
Yeah, they might be brothers. They might be brothers, those two guys, man, because they could walk hand in hand for sure, and they don't look like a pencil and a toothpick. That's for sure. But hey, there's some really good value when we look at our top 10s and top 20s. Sam Burns' form has been great. I didn't like how he performed last week at the Canadian Open in the wind and kind of inclement conditions, but I still how good of a putter he is at plus 375. His form is really good. Pretty stoic guy. JT at plus 400 to finish in the top 10.
That's good money. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think he's good money. He's creative. He can hit it. He's a past major champion. So if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our guys out of our 9 guys are past major champions. And this is what you're going to have in this event. Probably the best bet on the board is Cam Smith at plus 320 to finish in the top 20.
Top 20, yeah.
British Open winner. He's one of the best putters. He's been working with Claude Harmon down in West Palm Beach to get his driving a little bit better. So his big foul balls, his big misses aren't happening anymore. He's tightening up his golf swing. Same with Jordan Spieth. I don't like Jordan Spieth to win, but plus 310 to finish in the top 20 as a major champion.
Good money.
Great putters. I mean, look at these guys. You're going to have to make a lot of 15, 20-foot putters for putts for par this week. And these guys are used to it.
Hey, Jordan's the king of that.
Sometimes bogeys are just as good as a par, and sometimes par is just good as the birdies in the U.S. Open, especially this week when it's going to get windy. So I love the card this week. Positive week last week to get on the positive side. It's been a little rough year in terms of profitability, but if you listen to the other handicappers, I was on a couple shows earlier with some really good golf handicappers. Like, we're buried, man. Like, how are you still profitable? It's like, well, just what we do.
You're the best in the business. Hey, you got Big O has a question, Johnny.
No, I'm fascinated to hear how this breaks out, because I'm just trying to do the analogy of baseball. So you have in baseball, especially the Rays play this way, but also in October, a lot of teams play this way, which they play small ball, smart ball. This sounds like this tournament and this location is set for the guys that play smart golf as opposed to be the big home run hitters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sometimes to have the I'll say the to be confident in terms of, it's okay to have a golf shot. Just because a golf shot is 30 feet from the hole doesn't mean that's not the right golf shot, as opposed to try to get it to 3 feet. That's just a proper golf shot. To have this discipline in the U.S. Open, especially at a place like this, to be very disciplined is going to be the key. And that's the reason why Scotty bitching and moaning the last few or 4 weeks, just how he is. I just don't like it this week. He has a couple off shots, but discipline and being very structured. And like I said, maybe a 30-foot, maybe hitting into the green 30, 40 feet is the correct shot, as opposed to going at flag sticks to try to hit it to 3 feet to hit a miraculous shot. That's the better shot. Having that discipline and that control is going to be the key this week. It really is, because it's going to be difficult. It's going to be the most difficult test they've had since 2018 for the U.S. Open. 5 under, it shocked the hell out of me if anything over 5 under par wins. And the only reason it would get to 5 under is just because the wind didn't blow as anticipated. But the USGA will adjust. They love par as a score. They think par is as good as 10 under. They love it. And I like that a couple times a year. I know Tim loves it. Tim loves it. With the exception of a par 70, 7,500 yards, it's going to play firm and fast. But listen, man, it's just par. Par is like a birdie out there, and that's how the USGA loves to set it up.
Well, Tim just wants to see the windmills in the clown's mouth make it hard for these guys. I mean, that's his favorite type of golf course. Yeah,
I like when the course wins, man. I won't apologize for that.
JP, he wants to make sure all the tour players feel as miserable as he does when he plays golf.
Exactly.
That's just what it is.
Great call.
That's what it is. I mean, it's just what it is. It's just what it is.
I don't apologize.
All right, Johnny, great stuff as always, my friend. I can't wait to see him tee it off tomorrow and be throwing clubs and stuff. It's going to be fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Money in the bank with Johnny.
DeChambeau's he's already like
he's
doing
out.
videos
He's out.
like, I can't play in this.
He can't. He's out.
Tool. What a tool.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, buddy. All right, buddy. All right. Thanks, guys.
From the Rough coming up today, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, right here on these same network stations.
That is a fact.
Right here on FanStream Sports.
Chock full of info, man.
He's the best handicapper in the business. I'm telling
He
you.
is on point.
Yeah. He's so good that he, like, depending, because he's played on the tour, he's like, yeah, I know this place has really good bars and pubs. This dude's a drinker. He's out this week.
I mean, we're talking.
He's like, there's skirt chasers,
CIA type stuff.
skirt chasers. Anything in Texas, they got no shot. They got no shot. Texas or Florida, they got no shot. There's too many targets out there.
No wonder Hamon doesn't play well.
That's high level.
Texas.
That's high level.
So many distractions.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the best in the
Timmy
business.
comes over to Florida. He does well. He can't play in Texas with all the distractions.
So many distractions. I don't know, man. Last time I was in Tampa, there's a couple of distractions. I'm not going to
yeah, there's a few over here, buddy.
All right. We got the Big O show coming up here in just moments. So stick around for that. We'll get started here in about 15, 20 minutes for that. All race talk. We're actually going to be watching the game while we're doing the show.
Yeah, buddy.
That's going to be fun. It's your dual screen show. We're not done that. That'll be fun. Watching Shohei pitch from a guy. You faced Shohei, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No. I saw him pitch when he was 18 years old.
You saw him pitch
back in the day in Japan when he was coming up. He is an incredible pitcher, and I know that we love him as all the home runs. When he's on point,
I love him as a pitcher.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it
I'm
all
gonna tell
today.
you one thing,
Good
and we'll
luck,
talk about
Rays.
it in the show. But look out, because he just mixes it in 4 or 5 times. The Bugs Bunny curveball that he throws, because he usually comes east-west, but then he'll drop this Bugs Bunny curveball that's out of nowhere, and he controls it.
Good luck, lads.
Yeah, good luck, kids.
Good luck, kids. We're all pulling for you.
We're over here pulling for you in Tampa Bay.
Big O, I gave my prediction.
Win though.
I gave my prediction earlier. I think the Rays come out of their slump today. 14 runs on 17 hits.
Dude,
for the Rays.
You are an anomaly.
I said the odds would be bigger for that than a no-hitter. There's a better
Shohei
chance of throwing a
Ohtani
no-hitter than the Rays.
might leave the
14
game in
runs.
the second inning with an oblique.
I have to agree with you, JP.
100%. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, back to our regular times because Bowles canceled practice, and I knew he would. That's why I never scheduled it for on Thursday.
No, you
See what I
didn't.
did? I knew it. I absolutely knew it. That's why we're back to normal time tomorrow, 10 to noon. We'll see you then. Big O show coming up in minutes. I did. I told you.